What's up, y'all? You're listening to the Eagles postgame recap. I'm Alex Miller, joined always by Robert Cessna. We are inside Jordan-Hare Stadium on what is finally cleared out on the field amid Texas A&M's 43-41 4-overtime loss. Cease, it reeked of upset all week, and sure enough, Auburn found a little magic and made it happen.
Well, we knew, at least I did, I think most people, be close going on the road. A&M just hasn't shown enough on the road. The loss to South Carolina, I felt, put back in play that they're not really a good road team, and they really need to come in here and put that behind. Well, they weren't able to. And I give Auburn a lot of credit. A&M didn't look ready at first. Auburn looked like the superior team. Now, I thought they were going to get blown out. That being said, then A&M should win. You talk about a roller coaster, Alex. I thought they would lose by 2 scores after the first quarter was over. I knew they'd come back a little bit. Then I thought at the end they'd win.
What's crazy, and we'll get to the game in a minute, but the loss is going to sting for the Aggies. But the reality is, somehow, some way, Texas A&M still has a chance to make the SEC championship game, which is just mind-boggling to think of, given everything that transpired tonight, because as much as A&M had a dud, Alabama had even more of a dud on the road against Oklahoma, got blown out 24-3.
Yes, the problem about that is that unfolded, which I did not know, like most people, until it was over. The good and the bad news that is Alabama's kind of out. Ole Miss is kind of out. A&M is in, but they're still coming off a bad loss. That's the problem. And you don't want to go take a loss into a big game, which they are next week. And I understand we're all going to write. It all goes away if they beat Texas. But how can a team that lost to Auburn being down by 21 and then couldn't close the deal? Obviously, it has some problems.
Yeah, and so if A&M beats Texas next week, basically the way it's all shaken out, Georgia has clinched a spot in the SEC championship game. The winner of A&M Texas will play the Bulldogs in Atlanta in 2 weeks.
You win there, you go to the college football playoff.
And quite frankly, that's A&M's only path. And I think that's what's going to make this loss sting more, because think about this. Had A&M won tonight and maybe lost next week, or won next week and then played the next week and lost, they might have been able to get in at either 9-3 or 10-3, given all the chaos that's gone in the college football world. Now, the margin for error is still none, when all of a sudden there was a little margin that opened for a window of time.
Yes, with Alabama and Ole Miss losing, if A&M, or this loss, would have next week beat Texas, and of course that means they go to the championship game, but lost to Georgia, then they could have still made the college football, because they would have been the resume would have been much better. This way, their resume, if they lose to Texas, they have no resume to get in the college football playoff. Or if they even beat Texas and lose again. The bottom line is, you're right, Alex, no margin. And you laughed at some of my columns, which is true. We've been saying this just about every week. They have no room for error, and it's amazing how they've done that, and they're still viable because everybody else lost.
It's been a crazy college football season. And look, even though A&M has this opportunity still in front of them, what we saw on the field tonight, optimism is very bleak. I think that's fair to say. How many times did A&M have a chance to take the lead or tie or respond or win the game? And A&M just did not have a clutch bone in its body tonight. And that's ultimately what did the Aggies in.
Well, I think people are learning how to go ahead and go against A&M offensively and defensively. Daniels had a good night tonight, 97 yards, but longest yard was 9. They really missed Moss. And everybody has injuries. You need to get over them. Marcel Reed threw for 3 touchdowns, 297, but yet he missed people. The big interception cost A&M. They're going down to score, and Ole Miss scores. Auburn scores 7. So they keep doing that. And then when they had Auburn on the ropes, I go, their defense is their strongest deal. And Peyton Thorne goes for 32 or 23 yards on 4th and 3. The game's over if they tackle him. And it's you're right. Alex, it's all about confidence. And right now, I don't know how much confidence A&M can have because, once again, in their last 2 SEC games, they've lost.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting how A&M started out so poorly. You know, I don't think we were surprised when Auburn went down and scored because, you know, Mississippi State did that, South Carolina did that. It's not uncommon for A&M, but just the way it snowballed was kind of interesting. And we found out after the game that both Jaden Hill and Will Lee had been hurt, and that's why they didn't play most of the game. Javon Thomas was in there most of the game. BJ Mays, he got the big interception, but then A&M only could get 3 points out of it.
And they could have put them away there probably.
Well, they could have tied it. It was 28-21.
Right, just the emotion, the way they played, and everybody is injured right now. You got to give Auburn credit for winning the game. I mean, they came in and played hard. They're a 4-6 team. I mean, it's A&M. You give them, they had composure coming back because 21-0, I thought they were done. And it's got to be very frustrating. Yeah, you know, they're going to get up for Texas. I mean, come on, they haven't played Texas in 12, 13 years. It's going to be there, but they're going to have to play better on both sides of the ball. Hey, even Randy, now it's 52-53 yards. Randy Bond missed a field goal tonight. I mean, if he makes that, you know, who knows?
Auburn would have had to score a touchdown at the end of the game instead of just kicking a field goal.
And let's be honest, I thought Auburn was going to score a touchdown once they had first and goal. I said, A&M's going to lose this game right there, but no. And, you know, it's just, it's a wild college football year. We've said it all along, and A&M has been able to take advantage of it. Tonight they didn't. Can they do it tomorrow? Because now we're going to say it again when we do our next broadcast. A&M needs to win this game. And so we've said that in South Carolina. We've said that now, and we're going to say that again against Texas. And they do have to win that game or they're going to go to a bad bowl game probably.
Look,
or mid-tier bowl.
I'm just glad that the overtimes are over because having to run back and forth to the other ends of the field wore me out.
Well, if we wouldn't have to walk a mile and a half to come here to the stadium, we parked in Birmingham and walked or whatever.
Well, hey, the reality is A&M still got a shot.
Got a shot. That's all you want.
This one's going to hurt for a lot of Aggies, of course, but they still got a shot. Back off the ledge. There's a big game next week. Game day's coming to town. They had great timing announcing that when A&M went down 21-0. But hey, what can you ask for? It's A&M and Texas, and they're playing for a spot in the conference championship game.
And the way college football's gone, particularly in SEC, Texas is due a loss because if people went on the road, Oklahoma beat Alabama on the road, beating at home. Florida beats Ole Miss at home. Everybody wins at home. And where's A&M playing Texas? Best possible place.
Well, hey, we're going to have plenty of coverage on the return of the rivalry next week, so be sure to check theeagle.com for all of our coverage leading up to that game. And if you want to read about the game tonight, you can go to theeagle.com or not. We'll see you next time. We're Alex Miller and Robert Cessna. Wish us a safe trip home.